The transfer of thermal energy. Welcome back. This is a new topic, and this topic it is short, so there is no much need to lose a lot of time here. It has questions, even the final exam, but it is short, so we discuss it in very few sessions. We have three basic methods for transfer of thermal energy. We have conduction, we have convection, and radiation. So let's start by discussing one method after another. We have learned that when there is temperature difference between two objects, thermal energy in the form of heat flow between them. In this chapter, we shall investigate the mechanism by which heat is transferred from one place to another. There are three ways through which heat can be transferred. These are conduction, convection, and radiation. Conduction of heat is the transfer of heat through matter from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature. From region of higher temperature to region of lower temperature. Conduction is characterized by movement of energy from atom to atom without the back movement of matter. Conduction lazima two bodies ziwe in contact. That's one among the things you need to remember. They must be in contact. Uwe umegusana na mtu, that is conduction. Uwe umegusana na chuma, umegusana, mko in contact. So it is characterized by movement of energy from atom to atom without the back movement of material. Why there is this possible movement of energy from atom to atom? It is because the two objects they are in contact. So the transfer of energy through matter from a region of high temperature to region of lower temperature. For me, I would like to add the word that this occurs when the two bodies are in contact. Zimegusana. Every atom is bonded to a neighboring atom. Every atom is bonded to a neighboring atom. When heat is supplied to one part of the solid, the atom vibrates faster. The atoms, they tend to vibrate faster. This vibration is passed on to neighboring atoms through the bonds. This spread the heat throughout the object. Kwa tukihiti upande moja wa solid, upande mwingine pia unakuwa heated simply because of the vibrations of the particles at one end of the solid tend to transfer that vibration to the nearing particles or to the near particles up to the end of that solid. Conduction is the primary mode of heat transfer in solids but can occur to a lesser extent in liquids. It is the primary mode of heat conduction katika solid, lakini inaweza kutokea kidogo katika liquids. Experiment za heat hatufanyi kwa level, so we don't have any experiment to determine the conduction of heat. It took a longer time for the beaker to move from one end of the line to the other when the students were 3 meters apart. Okay. Material, beaker, water, meter, rule. Students from a line of 8 to 10 students standing about 1 meter apart of the first student. Take a beaker of warm water and hand it to the second in line. Okay, anyway, this is because the students were far from each other. The above activity compares with the conduction of heat by solids. Because the atoms in solids are close, conduction of heat is also faster. On the other hand, conduction of heat by liquid is minimal due to large intermolecular space, the space between two molecules. Katika conductors, we have the good and bad conductors. Materials that allow heat to flow through them easily are said to be good conductors of heat. Good conductors of heat. Metals are examples of the good conductors of heat. Copper and silver are exceptionally good conductors of heat. Exceptionally, manake zenyewe ni nzuri zaidi kuliko wengine. In metals, free electrons move around the lattice structure of the metal. When the metal is heated, the electrons carry the thermal energy from a region of high temperature to a region of lower temperature. This makes metals good conductors of heat. The metal, they are good conductors of heat. Materials such as wood do not have free electrons. They don't have free electrons. Such materials are relatively poor conductors of heat. Materials that do not allow heat to flow through them easily are said to be bad or poor conductors of heat. Bad conductors of heat are also known as thermal insulators, and they include wood, glass and plastic. Vitu ambavyo havipitishi joto, and always hivi vitu havipitishi hata umeme. The bad conductors of heat, they are always also poor conductors of electricity, because what ensure the conduction of electricity is free electrons, and what ensure the conduction of heat is the free electrons. Kwa hiyo hizo ni different materials. The rate at which each is conducted through a material depends on length of material. The longer the material, the more time it will take for conduction of it to take. Kama ni solid, nondo ni chuma, length of a material. Second, the cross-section area that is perpendicular to the heat flow. The larger the cross-section area, the faster the rate of heat transfer. That's because if the cross-section area is large, that means the collision between the electrons will be reduced, and it will be easier for the electrons to travel from one side of that material to another. Another is the difference in temperature between the two ends of the material. The higher the difference in temperature, the higher the rate of conduction, and that is from Newton's law. However, actually Newton's law, it doesn't govern conduction, it governs the laws of heat, but the concept here, the difference in temperature. Number 4, thermal expansion. Thermal conductivity of a material. Different materials, they have different thermal conductivity. This is the measure of the rate at which a material conduct heat. A material ina uwezo gani of conduct heat? The higher the thermal conductivity of the material, the faster the rate of conduction. The faster the rate of conduction. Minimizing heat losses by conduction. Minimizing heat losses by conduction. In a system where heat needs to be conserved, heat losses by conduction can be minimized by thermal insulation. Thermal insulation. Thermal insulation involves the use of poor conductors of heat. Poor conductors of heat. Thermal insulation is used in boilers, hot water pipes, and in the textile industry. Boilers, hot water pipes, pamoja na textile industry. In the house, insulating against heat loss is achieved using double glazed window. Unaweka ukuta, ukishaweka ukuta, unaweka air pale katikati, au unaweka poor conductor of heat pale katikati. Let's say air, unaweka tena ukuta mwingine. That means heat from inside cannot be lost kwenda nje. Unaweza kuweka carpets, curtains and drought excluders. Hizo zote ni njia mbalimbali za kuzuia heat loss by conduction. Carpets ni kama nyumbani mwako mna marumaru na baridi sana, unaweka carpet ya kitambaa, maana yake unataka ukigusa usiguse tiles, which will lead to heat loss by conduction from your body. Application of conduction. The following are some areas where knowledge of heat transfer by conduction is applied. Kwanza, cooking vessels are made of metals to efficiently transfer heat to the food being prepared. This vessel, the good conductor of heat. The vessel have plastic handle that stay much cooler. Plastic handle. Or even sometimes it's made up of wood. In certain electronic devices like computers, some components can be damaged by high temperature. To protect such components, heating sinks are attached to the device. The heat sink is the material with a high thermal conductivity, such as copper, that can conduct heat away from the sensitive component. Number 2, aluminium is used in making motor engine, piston and cylinder because of its low density and high thermal conductivity. Number 4, bad conductors are mainly used for insulating purpose. For example, the clothes we wear are poor conductors of heat and insulates us against loss of heat by conduction. Kwa hiyo Hiyo is more especially applicable in cold areas. Number 5, the bottoms of cooking pots need periodic cleaning for removing the layer of soot which impede the flow of heat. Yaani katika kile kitako cha sufuria huwa unaisugua mara nyingi ili kuweza kuremove yale masizi, ule weusi ambao unazuia heat transfer. Fiberglass is used under roof of buildings to prevent heat loss in cold areas. Kwa hiyo inatumika katika roof of building kuweza prevent heat loss. Number 7, sawdust, which is the poor conductor of heat, is used for ledging hot water pipes. Sawdust. This marks the end of our discussion regarding conduction. Kipindi kijacho tutaangalia kuhusu convection and finally we move to radiation. Thank you.